and developing additional support facilities. Council approved the terms of reference for the committee and the public membership. The following motion was passed that further identified the need to have an alternative council member in the event the mayor can't make a meeting. So this report is seeking an alternative council member to this particular committee. And again, the options presented are to continue without an alternative until an identified need to appoint a member, 2, identify an alternative member and make a council appointment, and 3, discontinue with the Airport Expansion Committee. And the recommendation is to identify an alternative member.
Thank you. Council, please. Anyone coming forward? First off, I guess, are we going to appoint the member? And I believe that was indicated in the report. Just go back there. Following motion was passed. Okay, so who's coming forward to be the alternate on the committee? Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you. I'm not stepping forward, but I just wanted to bring up that would it not make sense for our regular fill-in schedule that we have right now as the alternate mayors right now, rather than go through appointing somebody else, because the regular duties of the mayor would default to that individual on that particular month anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Council could pass a motion to have the deputy mayor of the month in the acting position. Sure. Again, that just takes away from the continuity sometimes, but I don't know that this committee meets that often anyway.
No,
so
no, I think that would work. Sure. That would work, and have it on a rotating basis. And if there was a couple of meetings or something, if there could be an opportunity for other people to share some of that knowledge. So, what would that resolution look like? That the acting mayor?
Yes, just that the acting mayor of the month would be the alternative to the Airport Expansion Committee.
Great. Okay, and that was moved by Councillor Rhodes and seconded by Councillor Plant. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? That will happen. Next is funding support for the Arts Council. Mr. Romanko, please.
Yes, attached, please find a letter from the Arts Council requesting sponsorship for the upcoming Performing Arts Series. This program was supported for the past 2 years through the Community Development Program budget. It was perceived that these programs contributed to the quality of life programs and merited sponsorship. The initial year tickets were used to encourage business owners and council members to attend together to provide for relationship building between council and business owners. With the discontinuation of this previous business program, staff were given the opportunity to use these sponsorship tickets. In terms of implications, these programs assist in providing a wide variety of culture experience to our community and contribute to the overall quality of life programming. The budget we were sponsoring at the $1,000 level and was taken out of the community development budget. And the options as presented are to continue to support the Arts Council with $1,000 sponsorship, 2, discontinue the $1,000 sponsorship and recommend the Arts Council apply to the Grant and Aid program next year, and number 3, identify another level of sponsorship. And the administration recommends option number 2, to discontinue and to ask them to apply for next year's Grant and Aid program.
Okay. Thank you. Council, please. Councillor Ryan.
Yes, I would like to propose option number 1, and that we ask them that we do support them for $1,000 this year.
Okay. And seconder, please. Seconder, please. Seconder, please. That motion fails. Council, please. Councillor McCordoff.
Yes, thank you. I would like to move option 2 to discontinue the sponsorship and recommend that the Arts Council apply to the Grant and Aid program.
Okay. Seconder, please. Councillor Rhodes. Speaking to the motion. Any comments?
Thank you.
Councilor McCordock.
I think that we have been trying to encourage groups to apply to the grant and aid. It gives them an opportunity to explain what they need the money for, where the money will be used, and I think this is that the Arts Council does a wonderful program for the town, and I personally support it, and I've always have, and I will continue to do so. So I think that that's a good way to put everybody on an even footing, so I'm quite in favor of the grant and aid.
Anything further? Councillor Ryan?
Yes, I considered that as one option, but having worked on it, having worked on the grant and aid program, it's really for one-off projects, and this is a continuing program. This is a continuing sponsorship program for a series of concerts that has been going on for a number of years, and I guess we could change the terms of reference or consider it, but I know that if they keep coming back year after year, that's the thing we've tried to avoid for the same thing. So that I would like to see them receive support. I'm not sure, I'm not convinced in my own mind that this is the best method for them to do so.
And I think I agree with those comments, Councillor Ryan. Perhaps I think we maybe need a different vehicle to. I would like to see support for them also, but I don't think that ongoing the way it was correct. Maybe we have to change it, and such as we do with some of our other cherished organizations. So I think we can review this, but at this point, I would certainly be supporting the resolution for option number 2. So, anything else, Council? All in favor? Opposed? That is carried unanimously. Item. This would be in addition to the agenda. This is the reclaimed water effluent situation. Mr. Nairn, and there's quite a bit of information here to be presented by Mr. Romanko on where we're going with the reclaimed water. So some of the reasons why I think Council had a hard time with the Butula process going ahead. So, Mr. Romanko, please.
Thank you, Mayor Wells. The Desert Park Exhibition Society requested that recycled water irrigation be installed on the south end of their lease to facilitate the growth of a forage crop and to control dust. I've included in the new package presented today a copy of the letter reaffirming that particular request. This project was identified in the 5-year capital plan, and it was initially identified in the 2012 budgeting process. Attached, you'll find also the letter from True that was part of the budget package in 2013. The project was one of the projects included in the $200,000 budget allocation in 2012, which included the emergency relocation of recycled water to the sandpit south of Desert Park. Public response to the sandpit project delayed implementation of the irrigation project until the development of the underground infiltration system. The attached report from True identifies that the project is over budget, and the attached email identifies that some concern still exists about the additional surface irrigation in the Desert Park area. And just as a matter of public record, there were 2 tenders for this project, they being from Grizzly Excavation in Penticton for $148,302, and from TGK Irrigation in Burnaby for $171,738. The tender amounts included a $5,000 contingency allowance and a 5% GST, and the exact number that we had budgeted escapes me right now. I think it was in the neighborhood of $60,000. It's in the report here.
It's on page 4, 120,000 it says.
That was including the infiltration field, and the infiltration bed was about $55,000, leaving about $65,000 for the irrigation pump and irrigation system. So we're significantly over budget in terms of this.
if I may interrupt, so we've gone from 65,000 budgeted to the lowest bid of 148,000.
Yes.
More than twice as much as what we had allowed.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, so the implications are that some community concern is still being expressed about expanded surface irrigation at Desert Park. However, the Desert Park Exhibition Society is continuing to request irrigation in the southern portion of their lease. The project is over budget, and additional sources of revenue would have to be put to the project. And there's no specific timelines attached to developing this project. In terms of sustainability, the community continues to support the irrigation of approved areas as a method of dispersing its treated effluent. In terms of options identified, one, award to Grizzly, reduce the project scope and negotiate a revised contract sum. 2, reject all tenders. 3, specific away from the tenders project first is to address the whole irrigation of the south end of the Desert Park lease. So we've got 3, continue to support the irrigation of the south end of the Desert Park lease, but with a revised strategy after consultation with the society. And number 4 is discontinue supporting an irrigation project for the southern portion of the Desert Park lease. And the administration recommends option 2, which is to reject all tenders, and 3, to continue to support the irrigation, but come back with an alternative strategy after consultation.
Okay, thank you. Council, please. There's quite a bit of information here, particularly when we're also going around looking at irrigating school grounds. But there's going to be, as we talked about earlier today, there's certainly going to be some time implications on getting that through. And now that Interior Health is getting involved in it, it could be well over a year. Other important comments were that the Desert Park Society, Exhibition Park Society, certainly looking for added irrigated lands, for forage, for dust and all that sort of thing. So I think we have an opportunity to go ahead, but at the same time we had Mr. Craig Nairn, who's in opposition to this, and came before council and made statements at our last meeting about the volume that we were looking at using. And while that may have been the mathematical equivalence, I've never seen an irrigation system that had every sprinkler on to maximum capacity ever on anything that I ever did. And I was involved in the agricultural business. My main job in the desert was to get around often enough. So my water was constantly on the move through different systems. And so there's a lot of information for council to look at on this, but I think some good recommendations through the report. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we did get, I know this report, it seems like we're getting it at the last minute, but we did have the consulting report for a little bit of scrutiny over the weekend and that kind of thing. And I'm going to make a motion based on the 2 recommendations of number 2 and 3, simply because they cover both aspects that I have concerns with at this time.
Great, thank you. And Councillor Ryan as the seconder on that. And speaking to the motion, please. Councillor Rhodes first, please.
I just want to make a quick comment about number 2 and my reasons for making that motion. They're strictly to do with the budget amounts. I'm not going to interject any kind of opinion about what this whole project is about. It would not be wise or prudent of us to award a tender that's almost double our budget amount. For whatever reason, I don't want to even pass judgment on it. I think that requires some more scrutiny to find out why it was double and before we move forward. The second point, number 3, I think this council has been really good at collaborating with people when we have these kind of things come up, and that certainly covers that. It does not say we're never going to do it. It does say very clearly that we're going to consult with the society, and hopefully we can come up with another plan that serves their requirements and is within budget.
Great. Councillor Ryan, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I too agree that the rejecting the tenders is appropriate. It was recommended by our engineering consultant, and certainly the numbers tell the tale. As far as supporting the irrigation of the South, the key, as I've said previously, the key to our effluent system and our handling of wastewater is that we have to spray it. We have no other place to put it except to put it on grass somewhere or on land, and so this is important. It's important to the society who's running it and trying to bring it back to bring the desert park back to life, and they're doing a good job of that so far, as well as the fact that we have been. We have some continuing obstacles in the way of using the grounds of the school. And so I think it's close at hand. We already have irrigation there. It's a matter of extending some of that irrigation. So I think it makes all the sense in the world.
Okay. Anything further, Councillor Plante? Councillor McGordoff? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. That passes. Bringing us to some reports. General Sun Bowl Arena and payroll accounts.
Are we going to do a notice of motion, Mr. Mayor? Because I'd like to make
you
one.
Have one?
I do have one, yes.
Wow.
I know we haven't had an active notice of motion agenda item for a while.
Okay.
So I did send these around to everyone. Mr. Romenko doesn't have his computer there in front of him, so he didn't see it. But what I will do is I will simply read the notice of motion. And I don't have it either, do you? Bear with me for one moment here, please. It is that I'd like to give notice to council that I will be bringing forth a motion at the next meeting that council be given a final, detailed briefing on every infrastructure project that is proposed prior to the project being tendered. So there'll be a report on that coming to the next meeting.
Okay. So that's notice of motion. That doesn't need a seconder.
Doesn't need anything.
No, it
just needs attention.
That's just being civil. Okay. We have received that. Thank you. Now we go to reports. General Sun Bowl Arena and payroll accounts. I just dropped offline here for a minute, so here we are. General and Sun Bowl cash requirements to July the 2nd, 2013, representing balances in the following funds amount to: in the general fund, $370,852.49. In the Sun Bowl account of $19,717.76, and payroll accounts in receipt for information in the amount of $74,759.41. Is there any comments, changes on any of that? They will be adopted by consensus. Next up would be the CAO report. Mr. Romenko, please.
Thank you, Mayor Wells. I'm going to start my CAO report today with just a report from Director of Community Services, Gerald Davies. It's an update on the splash park, so I thought it would be appropriate to share with council at this time. He's saying there's been a number of items that have occurred over the last few weeks. We have received our construction permit from Interior Health. There's still another permit that needs to be completed when the park is done. The last permit will be the permit to operate. We officially broke ground with the assistance of Josh Ferreira of South Okanagan Concrete and his assistant, Councillor Ryan. In preparing for water service, True Engineering has done an amazing job of getting donors in place to assist. These include V-Line Construction, EMCO, Mike Johnson Excavating, Baylog Electric, and South Okanagan Concrete. Our public works staff has been working with True Engineering to get the service saddle and curb stop in place. During the week of July 2nd to 5th, we will have pipe delivered. The storm sewer installed, manholes and catch basins donated. The light standard on the site will be removed, and Public Works will install the water service. Once work is completed, RecTech and Water Play is scheduled to be on site to start the splash pad. They will be arriving on July 7th and start the installation. Once the pad is cured and in place, the equipment will be installed. We are on track as per our timeline. A sign will be erected on site as soon as possible. So that's pretty good news, I think.
I think that's wonderful news. So on that time frame, what was the time frame date? Do we have that? Anyone? I've got the time frame.
At end of the month is what we were looking at for having the project completed. So I don't know how long it'll take the pad to cure, but my assumption is that we should be. He said we are on track as per our timeline, so that would be the end of the month.
Great. That's just very, very good news.
Okay, continuing on, the summer recreation program officially starts July 2nd, and they have over 40 kids pre-registered. They kicked off the official Healthy Living Coalition group, which will assist the main organization to be the healthiest region in BC, and the plant will be started in early July in preparation for summer operation at the Sun Bowl Arena. In terms of corporate services, informational brochures on town bylaws for visitors completed in both English and French and will be handled by bylaw officers when needed. Copies have also been given to RCMP and are available in Town Hall. Interviews were held for the Relief Program Assistant at the Community Services Department, and July 1st discussions with the committee, bylaw, and RCMP. And unsightly properties continue to take bylaw enforcement time. In terms of finance, well into tax collection. As of 8 a.m. today, 75.8% was collected. Pre-authorization payments, 266 applications renewed and 47 new applications. In terms of public works, paving of the storm projects are scheduled for this week. This will complete that particular project. The 115th Street light installation project is out to tender, and cleanup is underway after July 1st festivities. For myself, attended a meeting to discuss the implementation of a new Material Management BC program presentation, and there will be a presentation to Council next week at the Committee of the Whole. And also had implemented discussions of leasing additional lands for the boat and RV parking downtown, and completed the needed leasing documents. And just in terms of the festivities for the week, my congratulations to all the public works staff and everybody else that worked very hard to try and not only dress up the community, make it look good, but also, I don't know if you've checked our website, but our website was all dressed up in July 1st garb as well, with pictures from last year, and that to give us that total July 1st festivities environment. And that's my report for today.
Thanks, Mr. Romanko. Council reports. Councillor McCordoff.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my report is not going to be too long today. We've had sort of a busy, very, very busy weekend. And starting with the previous weekend, where we had the Relay for Life down at Gyro Beach for 12 hours. And while we had a few sprinkles and cloud cover, and it was very well attended, and it was a great event. And I think I don't know the exact amount of money that was raised for the Cancer Society, but they were very pleased with the results. This weekend we had, it says it takes a village. Well, I think it took a town this weekend. The Osoyoos royalty did a fabulous job of celebrating the 65th annual 65th royalty on Sunday night, and Kathy Baskett and Ann Marcelli head that, and they do a terrific job. The mini theater was full. We had practically standing room only in there, and all kinds of past royalty. I think out of the 65 years, there were 32 or 33 years represented, so that was terrific. The Osoyoos Festival Society does get credit for organizing July 1st, but, not without a ton of other people in this town. We have the Lions and the Elks and the Fireworks Committee and the RCMP and the bylaw and town staff and public works. And we also have a lot of businesses in town who go out of their way to help locals and visitors alike. We have homeowners who get out extra beds and entertain visitors and family. And we have the visitors who come to this town and enjoy our festivities. So I just would like to say thank you to everybody. It was an amazing weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor McCordoff. Councillor Ryan, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, I want to continue what Councillor McCordoff started. I think that it was just a tremendous weekend. It was a typical Osoyoos summer day, and the festival was wonderful, the parade and the fireworks particularly. And I just want to thank, first of all, our two fundraisers, Ella Mae Pratt and Annette Starr. And I did ask them earlier today if they were still looking for support, because I know that they had gone to the Gyro Beach, and they had some collecting cans there, and you could still support it. And so they did write back, and they said yes, that would be wonderful, because not only do they want to do year round, but also they had a new piece of equipment this year that was purchased that also affected the costs a bit. And told a little story too, which some people may know about, but Frank Zanfleet, who's our choreographer and our pyrotechnician, had to make a round trip to Calgary on Friday to pick up some of the fireworks that didn't get delivered. So that's a long drive to make. So anyway, thanks to them for raising the money and for continuing to, and you can still make donations at the town hall, mainly, I guess. And also to Frank for not only putting it on and choreographing it, but also for actually picking up the materials. And again, the Festival Society, Sue has been Councillor McCordoff has been associated with them for many, many years, and it's just a huge number of people who are the first ones up in the morning and the last ones to bed at night, and they make it all possible for us. And so a tremendous debt of gratitude is owed to them, and especially to Nancy Kataranchuk, of course, who with her board and volunteers is the really driving force behind that. I felt personally that the presence of the past royalty was just a highlight of the whole weekend. It was just so nice to see the ladies who had served as princesses and queens. So that was really good. And the town staff and the administration for all that they do, but particularly that quick turnaround. We saw the previous week that our marina was not really working the way we'd wanted it to. And so really a very, very fast turnaround on getting a new, very close to the marina, a place for trailers and rigs and RVs to park for the day. So a lot of good things there. I just want to welcome as well our visitors. We had just a tremendous crowd. I don't know if the RCMP keeps statistics from year to year, but boy, it sure looked like there were more people than I've ever seen here on a 1st of July weekend. So, and I want to welcome them, tell them that we just are delighted to have them, and there's so much to do here. And if you somehow get bored and can't think of something to do, why, just ask somebody, one of the locals. And for those of us who are residents here, who are lucky enough to live here all the time, we should be offering advice too. You know, you can usually tell visitors, and so if they look puzzled or if they're standing and looking in all directions, why, just offer some advice. You know, can I help you? And then you can tell them all the good places there are to eat and to visit and to things to do and so on. So thanks to everybody. These things don't happen magically. They require a lot of volunteer effort, and there were certainly a lot of people involved, and we all benefited from it.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. Councillor Plante, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I seem to come down with a head cold, and although it's uncomfortable, what makes it even more uncomfortable is how beautiful it is outside. Plus 35, and standing out there with this head cold isn't very comfortable. So I'm going to make mine fairly short. All the thanks again, Canada Day, as our previous two councillors have mentioned. My story goes back to even before I moved here. I had the privilege of coming to Canada Day, I would say, 10 years ago. And it was another one of those stamps for me to why I moved to this area. I haven't missed one since, and I don't plan on ever missing one. Now, I came from Edmonton, and they don't do a Canada Day like this town does a Canada Day. And, sorry to say that, Alberta and Edmonton, but this town knows how to put on a parade, knows how to put on a party, and knows how to do a Canada Day. And that's just evident by being part of the parade and being able to go down that street and seeing all the kids and all the families all along that street and who camp out. I mean, we were coming to do some prejudging at 9 o'clock, and there was people who were already on the sidelines ready for this parade that starts at 11. So we know that we put on a good parade, and so again, thanks to everyone involved in that. At 3 o'clock yesterday, we also did a little presentation for the Splash Park. So yesterday was our early bird draw for the Splash Park raffle ticket. Again, the Rotary champion is the champion of this project, so we thank them for allowing us to use them for the lottery and the tickets. There's 400 tickets that were for sale. We're just over halfway through those tickets. We have the main one on July 27th. But yesterday, on Canada Day, we did our early bird for $1,000. And so at 3 o'clock, we did the presentation, and we picked the name, and it was Jose and Nacho. And I had no clue who that was, and I looked at the other guys, and one of them had sold it. And this is a gentleman from Edmonton that has bought a ticket because he knows that this project is a big need in this community, and the amenity is here for our kids, but also for his kids, and maybe he's got grandkids or whoever that are going to come here and are going to appreciate that project. So I want to thank him for being part of that and purchasing a ticket. And there's still tickets available. Again, you can get a hold of me personally at the town, at the Sonora Centre. We have tickets for sale going July 27th is the grand, the final, we got a $5,000 travel voucher, a $3,000 shopping spree, and another $1,000 that we're giving away in cash on that day. So tickets are still out there. They're $50. And please support this. We're, as Mr. Romenko had said, we're getting right down to the to nitty-gritty of this project. Starting, we want it open for August 1st, but we still have some dollars that we'd like to collect and put towards this project. So we're still looking for your help. So that being said, I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Plante. If I may, I managed to late buy a ticket. I've already made a donation to the Splash Park, but I late bought a ticket just to get in on the draw, and I think I'm going to buy another one. So if we've got under 200, let's make sure that these are all sold, because there's nothing so rewarding for volunteers and volunteer efforts as people appreciating it. And when I look at some of the previous successes like the Desert Park, those people that worked their fingers to the bone to get that Desert Park horse racing going, they were so rewarded when that 1,500 to 1,700 folks were there, when the cars were lined up past the stop sign. That is the reward. And the reward for these people that are working hard on this Splash Park, let's get out there and make sure that those tickets are all sold. And we have a lot of visitors in town, and I'm sure that we can make that a done deal. 400 sold, and those profits are just gonna help that Splash Park. Councillor Rhodes, please, on his report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just further to that, I know where you can buy tickets. I have quite a few of them.
I think I promised I'd buy one off you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So I'm going to hold you to that. So just. I don't know what to say, being the last one on the list here today. Thank you to everybody that was involved in any of the aspects that went on yesterday. I was just absolutely awestruck, and like Councillor Plant, I'm an ex-Albertan from Edmonton, and I never ever seen anything like that yesterday. There's no comparison there. This is a city with a $400 million budget, and it didn't even compare to ours. And I just wanted to say a couple of things now that we're going to bash Edmonton a little bit. I did watch their fireworks display early this morning on the Edmonton Journal website, and they had a preamble. The fellow that is like our Frank Zandvolit that puts theirs all together. And, he said that 300 man hours just to put the stuff in the ground, put it together, 16 workers, and I'm going to say that our show, so that was for a 15-minute show, from the first spark to the last firework, 15 minutes. Ours was considerably longer. I don't know how long it was. It was probably a half an hour or better. Might even have been more. Ours was twice as spectacular. I'm going to say we did it with half of the resources. And, it just, when you always hate to make these kind of comparisons because you always get caught, but this was a real life application where you can see one aspect and compare it to another. Ours was far better, didn't cost us near as much, and we didn't use half the resources. So, Etta May, Annette, Frank, thank you so much. It was unbelievable. Just one other quick comment about the fireworks last night, and I know a few years ago I heard Mayor Wells talk about vortexes. When I first heard it, I thought, well, maybe there was some mental health issues going on, and I didn't get it, still don't get it real well, but, he's been very persistent, and I know there was a little bit of a talk about it at an event as late as last week, and I got to tell you, those vortexes that take place down in southwestern United States, they were feeling pretty naked last night because we had every one of them right here in our community. I viewed the fireworks from the Cottonwood beach area last night. There was, I'm sure, 1,500 people that were crowded down there. Without exception, everybody was having a good time. They had their chairs out in that little stretch of 20-inch or 20 foot of beach there, well organized. There was kids frolicking in the water. Late in the day, just before, you could see the profiles of the mountains in the horizon. Not a bit of wind last night, and you could just see that glare across the lake. Boy, I'll tell you, if there's stronger vortexes anywhere else in the world, I'd be really surprised. So thank you, Mayor Wells. I get it.
Thank you very, very much, Councillor Rose. Yeah, that's the energy vortexes, all right. And I have a convert. So now there's two of us. You're welcome to join. About all I can say is just over the top. It was a couple of days there, really over the top. It was a grand event. From the royalty was spectacular, and I find it such a rewarding event to see the young people out there, and going out to be ambassadors for our town, and we're rewarding the ones that have done the year before. We're welcoming the incoming ones. They're all being welcomed by their peers from surrounding towns, and to have the past royalty there, going back to the calendar was 49, but I believe it was 55 was the oldest one that actually appeared. I understand out of those 65 years, 32 years were covered by returning past royalty, which I think is just spectacular. So that was wonderful. The fireworks. I keep telling people, I used to watch the fireworks from different spots around, but if you don't see the water shots where they're coming out of the lake, so they lob these fireworks, they just go out maybe 50 feet, they go into the lake, they stabilize, and when they're stabilized, they shoot upwards. and it's spectacular to see them coming right out of the waters. This puts Las Vegas to shame, and it really does. So keep doing the water shots, Frank. Congratulations on a wonderful show. Relay for Life, that was always Relay for Life is a special day in the town of Osoyoos. And I think that sort of wraps it up. But everywhere I went in the last couple of days, I just saw the people that put it all together. And I have a question, but I also have the answer for it. And it's, how do you spell community? And how you spell community is VOLUNTEERS, volunteers. That's how you spell community. I've never seen so many people make such a big concerted effort, and as tired as they were, they kept soldiering on. And it was just so wonderful to see everybody I knew was volunteering. Everybody I knew was out there in some form volunteering to be a part of it, to help people, to help our guests, to help our tourists. And it was a wonderful, very, very well-behaved crowd. We had a few little glitches, which you always do, but what a spectacular event. The town of Osoyoos, stand up, take a bow. At that, I'll ask for a notice of adjournment. Councillor Ryan Plant, all in favor? We are adjourned, 3:45. Still time to pay your taxes. The sun is shining. Enjoy the South Okanagan, folks. Goodbye.